Hello guys, my name is Chris Smith. This is my partner Aaliyah Gregory right here, and we are coming to you live. Not actually, we're actually coming to you online. This video is going to be submitted to you guys via Blackboard, where you can watch it on your laptop or PC. So we hope to keep this very fun and interactive for you guys. Even though we don't have an actual audience, we're hoping that you guys still get to walk away with some takeaways and learn something new and have as much fun listening to it as we had making it. So our project was actually about Lexus Takumi. So I'm going to give you guys kind of an agenda of which we're going to be doing today. We're going to start off with just kind of an overview of what Takumi really means, the philosophy behind it. We're going to give you an introduction of when Takumi kind of came in. We're going to talk about craftsmanship and the masters of Takumi. Give you guys a little video that we have. Talk about the influences and the impact that Takumi has had since it's been implemented, and then have a conclusion at the end. So I'm going to hand it over to Aaliyah.
Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about the Japanese luxury brand that is Lexus. So as most of you may know, Lexus was founded in 1989 by Toyota Motor Company. And to give a little overview of Lexus's design philosophy, they really revolve around the Japanese term omotenashi, which means hospitality. And at the core of omotenashi is meeting the needs of others, or like the attentiveness to others. And their hospitality is to treat and entertain their customers really sensibly and wholeheartedly. So this means sensing the mood, feeling the energy of the customers, as well as not entertaining for self-satisfaction, but being quick to perceive the guest's needs, desires, and overall mood as well. One of their design philosophies is the Yet design, which really creates a balance between two seemingly opposite ideas. So it's really Lexus's uncompromising approach to luxury, so elegant yet functional, or modern yet comfortable. And then another component of their design philosophy is the L finesse. And this has three components to it. Seamless anticipation, which means that they are not only having attentiveness to the needs of others, but also anticipating it as well. So if there's something that is going to be coming in that is required, they already have it on hand, and it really puts the customer at the center of the Lexus experience. The second is incisive simplicity, which really cuts through the complexity to reveal the purity of the purpose and expression of the luxury of the Lexus brand. And the last one is intriguing elegance, which really means to, like turn heads and not only have you pay attention to them, but capture and hold your attention. And the designers of these models actually call it the visual journey, due to the fact that you're looking over the model and you're paying attention to the details, the little things, as well as like the overall picture of the vehicle. So what is Takumi? Does anyone know? No? Okay, well, as you can see in this GIF here, it is Japanese for master craftsman or artisan. And this GIF is an old Japanese man working on his craft really diligently. And it's just like basically a really quality tale that traces back across many Japanese generations. And a Takumi is one that has dedicated their life to their work, and also holds and passes the knowledge on to other people as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Takumi craftsmanship at Lexus. So I found a really cool quote online that Lexus really brings the overall meaning of Takumi, which is to marry the human touch with technological advancement. So when Lexus is using this in their manufacturing process, they're using both machines but also humans to really bring out that quality in the vehicle. So Takumi in the Tahara plant, it was first introduced in the Tahara plant in Japan, and they're basically like a dream team of engineers that command enormous amount of respect in the Japanese auto world. And the system supports the manufacturing process at Lexus and helps reflect that design philosophy that we talked about in the previous slide, which really leads to the really like perfectionism in the factory build process as well. And so to give you kind of like a standardized kind of rack of where Takumi is, it has a really virtuoso standard, which is basically like genius, expert, master, and is the automotive equivalent to the 10th Dan Black Belt. I'm not sure if many of you know what that means, but that is the highest level of that division. And so in the Tahara plant, there are 10 master craftsmen that specialize in a key area of the vehicle. So these masters do not generalize in all the areas of the vehicle, but really focus their time and effort in being an expert in only one and then teaching to the workers that are under them. Okay, so Takumi masters. Here is one who's at the Tahara plant, Kimi Hiru, and his expertise is paint. So he's been in this expertise for 28 years. And he really can spot the tiniest blemishes in a paint job that others might overlook. So the robots spray the paint, but he really knows that a robot is only as good as someone who programs it. So the more knowledgeable and experienced the Takumi, the more sensitive the work that goes into it. So you can see a little quote right here that he says, go on. Okay, so the second is Masahiro Suganuma, and his expertise is the vehicle body. So this is after it's come off the assembly line. He's been doing this for 25 years. And he says, in the early stages of body welding, the robots do most of the work, but the adjusting and the bolting and really manipulating the little things at the end is only done by hand. So the process of fitting parts together precisely where they need to be is where the high developed skills of the workers come into play. And he can tell if something is off by just a millimeter, and he's trained his team to do that as well. Every day he puts a faulty vehicle through the assembly line to just test his team to make sure that nothing gets past them and they have not failed yet. And then the last one is Nobutaka Tashima, and his expertise is body stamping. So he's been doing this for 32 years. And he says that him and his team have to really work in microns because they wouldn't want one strand of hair or one speck of dust in the metal mounds that would affect the quality of the vehicle. So his mission is to really spot the slightest imperfections so they meet the quality standards of the customers that are going to be buying the vehicle. He says that at this point, the only way to really know if a vehicle is perfected is to run your hand physically over the vehicle. And he says that this skill and knowledge can take over a decade to develop. And now I'm going to pass it over to Chris, who's going to tell you the sensory story of Takumi.
Cool. And we have a little video we're going to play for you guys. I'm going to let Leah take over. I have a little audio in the background to make the video more fun. And just to kind of give you guys an overview, what they're really showing is how they really do use their hands in each process, how you can see the workers really actively touching and making sure different things are going where they are alongside the machines as well. So it's very much like she said, the human touch and machines coming together to create these products. Inspections. Last little final touches.
Here it is.
And finish. That was a pretty cool video. Some good orchestra in the background we had there. We're going to go ahead and get back into this PowerPoint. So as Leah was talking about, we were kind of talking about the Tahara plant. But actually, because of the success of the Tahara plant, it inspired the Miyata plant as well to implement their own version of this Takumi process, and they call it their Takumi activities. And it's also being implemented in the Kentucky plant as well right now. And overall, kind of out of the 7,700 employees, they label about 19 of these employees as Lexus technical experts. And these are kind of those masters, those really high up people that really go to each different plant and they teach people these different processes of really using kind of their senses to build a better quality of the vehicle. I'm going to go a little bit into the 5 senses to support craftsmanship. So they really try to use all 5 senses. We didn't really find anything about taste. I don't really know how that would work, but all the other ones were pretty much used. So I'll give you guys a couple examples. So they have this one thing they implement is called the Clean and Silent Initiative. So what they took was a chain-driven production line and changed it to a friction-driven production line, which dramatically reduced the ambient noises. So it made the plant a lot more silent so that technicians were able to hear different abnormal noises and auditory feedbacks at various production stages in the different processes. And that really helped them be able to use their hearing in that sense of the different senses that they got to use. They also had hand stitching, and hand stitching takes longer. This is kind of more with the interior of a car with like seats and stuff. Like I said, it takes longer, but for them, as Aaliyah said earlier, the customer is what they're really focused on. The customer doesn't really care how many cars are being made. They really care about that one car that they're going to take off the lot and buy that day. So just even having that intricate hand in that as well just makes more creativity, more quality. And finger inspections as well. One thing that they do is every 2 hours they have them run their fingers across a smooth surface that kind of is kind of a metaphor or an implication of what a perfect sense of what a like hood or fender of a car would feel like. And then they have this other test called creating an origami cat, and you guys probably are like, what does that even mean? It's literally what it says. But what they do is they have each of their employees have to create an origami cat, not with their dominant hand, but with their non-dominant hand. What they have to do is they have to use just that one hand to create this, and if that isn't hard enough, you only have 90 seconds to do it. So they usually have to do this in under 90 seconds. So that's something fun that they do. And some different improvements that have happened since they put this in. Basically what we've always talked about is the machines are supposed to pretty much emulate the same fluidity as a human when it comes to certain jobs such as painting, which we talked about earlier. So basically they want these different machines not to just kind of gloss over and just throw a coat of paint on the car. They really want it to seem as if a human did it. But even through doing that, it's really helped them with production costs because now they can have less workers monitoring these machines because the machines pretty much work just as humans. And they're able to actually take their production line from 16 people to 6, which saves them money. Other improvements were the installation of the car doors when they seal it on. It allowed the company to save 39 cents in production costs per vehicle. And if you kind of put all those things together, these efforts definitely had a lot of great results. And since 2008, Toyota has been able to reduce their cost by $14.4 billion, which is a huge amount. And even in January to June of 2014, the company sold 5.1 million vehicles globally. Their sales rose 2% in the second quarter of the same period the previous year to $62 billion. So we can see that this Takumi process has really helped, and even being able to be implemented to other plants has definitely helped out Toyota a lot.
Okay, so what is Takumi? I hope all of you at home are able to capture the gist of what it means. But it's basically the master craftsmen in the manufacturing floor that are behind the amazing quality that the Lexus brand is. So no matter how technologically advanced a machine may get, there are certain jobs that still require human sight and touch as well. Katsuhiro Yamazaki, which is the master of assembly line at the Tahara plant, says, "A person with a good sense of touch is far better at calculating exact placement than a machine overall." So this really just like overall wraps up the process of Takumi, and the success of the Tahara plant has also inspired other Toyota manufacturing plants to implement this quality management technique. And as Chris was saying, the improvements have led to rise in sales and decline in production costs. So overall, this new kind of technique in the quality management is really getting out there and making a big impact. So hope you guys enjoyed at home, and thank you guys very much.
Process, and they call it theirs Takuma activity, so they switched up the name a little bit. Something else, oh wow, we have some random stuff going on right now. Oh, we got that in the background. Okay, we will run with that. That's funny. Anyway, so it's called Takuma Activities.
And then at the core of no! No!
You could have just kept going.